37 seconds of Sony logos 69 each other. Awesome, this guy found the original Jumanji game buried on the beach, where it was left in the last movie. But the people approaching it at the end of the last movie were speaking French, implying it went across the ocean. This is still America, so USA! USA!
I found something. You gotta check this out.
You gotta check this out, cliche.
Board game? Who plays board games?
Who says this out loud to themselves when presented with a board game? Also, tons of people played board games in 1996, and even now they do. What the hell's exactly going on over there? Is there a gremlin masturbating to a sleeping Alex? Also, one great thing about Jumanji is its ability to upgrade whenever someone shuns it. This is something Jumanji stockholders demanded during the board game crash of '79. Say what? Alex was clearly playing a PlayStation earlier, which only plays discs, so why did Jumanji settle on this Atari-style upgrade? Instead of getting scared and looking for the asshole who switched the board game for a video game cartridge, this kid thinks, wait a minute, maybe I should stick this unlicensed game into my machine and see what happens. Metallica always taught me not to be afraid of death. Man, it's bad enough that Alex had this number of cassette tapes even in 1996, but in 2017, a teenager like Spencer has f***ing CDs? Huh, who knew there was an extra Kardashian living in New Hampshire? Also, yes, it's 2017, and all these kids have Sony phones, which isn't weirdly noticeable at all.
Can we just speed this up? Freakhouse makes me very uncomfortable.
Why does Spencer and Fridge meet here? Spencer can give Fridge this paper almost anywhere, including at the school, without anyone knowing.
It's not like I was your best friend for your entire childhood. That's fine.
Mumbles position.
That poor man. So awful what happened to those people.
3 of the 4 main characters just happen to be near the freak house just before they all get sent to detention, where they will play the Jumanji video game that directly relates to the family who used to live here.
This world swallows up kids like you.
Damn, when Eric Stratton became a gynecologist in Beverly Hills, I didn't realize he would get so cynical. Well, that went well. Better go get a glass of buttermilk before I randomly and cryptically threaten the next teen.
Bethany, you're late!
But why? What possible purpose does Bethany being late for f***ing gym class serve, if not to perpetuate this utterly useless movie cliche?
This is school. We are supposed to be learning things that actually matter. Okay.
Somehow, things these kids have probably done the entire school year become a big problem on the same day. Bethany talks on the phone during a quiz, Martha goes all Lisa Simpson during gym class, and Spencer's obvious homework he's done for Fridge is finally discovered after several attempts.
It's the last sentence of Anthony's paper on westward expansion. Coincidentally, it's the last sentence of your paper on westward expansion from last year.
This teacher must make copies of her students' papers to reference for plagiarism later, since I thought it was customary to give the student their paper back with a grade on it. Either that, or this teacher out of nowhere remembers one sentence of a paper from a f***ing year ago or some bullshit.
Yeah, you also used the same metaphor, the spreading wildfire, in your papers on the Boston Tea Party, the Battle of Gettysburg, and the women's suffrage movement.
Man, this teacher's played a long con on Spencer here. Such a memorable cliche, and she didn't call him out on it once after all those times. I guess she knew one day Spencer would help someone cheat, and he'd use that term, and then her master plan would be complete.
Welcome to detention.
Only 4 people got in trouble today? What about the normal rejects at this school? Also, why's the principal handling detention? He doesn't have better things to do? Doesn't that job go to the track coach or the health teacher or something?
All of these old magazines are bound for the recycling plant. It seems all the staples must be removed.
What world are you living in where the staples need to be removed? I guess you could be lying, but why bother?
I don't recognize it.
So was the game just content to not be sucking anyone into it for 20 years? I mean, the drums weren't even beating to call attention to the console. Fridge just happened to find that shit. I mean, the board game went out of its way to recruit people, so much so that they had to bury that shit to prevent it from harming fools.
A game for those who seek to find a way to leave their world behind.
They're reading.
Which one do I pick?
I don't know, I don't think it matters that much.
This is, of course, why the avatars are so completely converse to the real-world characters. But why would Spencer say this when he knows jack shit about this game?
Franklin Moose Finbar.
It clearly says mouse, but I'm sure this will lead to hilarious comic hijinks later. Also, it's kind of crazy that this game doesn't have pictures of the character you are selecting, but I'm sure this will lead to hilarious comic hijinks later.
I think it's shorting out.
Supposedly intelligent character Spencer does this instead of, immediately unplugging the game. Why is this game sucking the characters in at random times? So you're telling me Jumanji has the power to fuse with video games, to become a video game, but it doesn't have enough power to take all 4 of them at the same time? Ah, shit. We just got sucked into Journey to the Mysterious Island.
Who are you? Who is she?
Who are you guys?
I hate to be that guy. Wait a minute, I love being that guy. But is this how you talk to people you don't know? Do you go to a party, find a stranger, and demand to know who they are?
What is going on?
I understand they'd be confused, but the last 2 solid minutes has been all the characters constantly asking a version of this question. You're short, he's fat, she's hot, and he's The Rock. Let's move on.
I am Spencer. I'm Spencer. Ah!
Yep, that's Spencer.
Oh yeah, remember that character trait about Spencer being paranoid that hasn't come up since the very beginning of the movie? That's how he's ultimately identified as being the real deal.
I'm an overweight middle-aged man.
Sweet. I've been looking for a sequel to The Hot Chick, and I finally got it. You gotta love the Jumanji game. It doesn't even tell you what these marks are. Jumanji has a bigger dick than Myst. At least you could quit Myst.
I have a tattoo.
I have one too.
One?
It's the only explanation. That old game machine must have electrocuted all of us.
Man, I know Bethany's annoying and all, but it's not like the other two didn't see the hippo coming up to Deep Blue Sea her and couldn't give her a heads up.
It's moose. It's not mouse.
No, good sir. I'm quite sure it's mouse.
If Nigel can only answer when he's been programmed to answer, then how does he know to correct mouse on his name? Unless this is something the programmers knew would be a common mistake.
We need your help at once.
If you think that I checked this letter to make sure that Nigel read this narration 100% correctly, you're right. And he didn't. If it wasn't that, I'd just send the narration. You can see the bind I'm in.
Van Pelt assumed dominion over all Jumanji's creatures, controlling them.
Then why doesn't he have control over all these humans that are standing around him? He bosses his henchmen around, sure, but Nigel's completely unaffected, right?
And remember, the goal for you
saying the same thing over. Here's a map of Jumanji.
That's curious. Why didn't he just hand over the map before he got caught in that loop, saying the same verse over and over? He's going to say the verse again after this anyway.
Wait, you can't just give us a ride to the statue?
Fridge would be amazing at writing Lord of the Rings.
Why can't we just leave? Stop the game without doing all this stuff.
Jack Black is the only one that's actively trying to mimic his IRL character, and it's f***ing hilarious. One cent off.
This is what I'm good at. Playing video games. It's what I do. It's literally the main thing that I do.
Okay, fine. We saw you playing a game briefly earlier in this movie, but there is nothing in this movie that suggests you're a hardcore gamer. We've seen you help Fridge cheat on his paper more than we've seen you as Wade Watts.
But the problem is, there's nothing here.
What do you mean there's nothing there? It's a map, just like you said.
Cartography.
I've got to wonder, what if Bethany decided not to go, and it was just Spencer, Fridge, and Martha? Would there be an AI Professor Shelley talking to them right now who can read the map?
Paleontology. What does that even mean?
A few minutes ago, Fridge discovered he possessed knowledge he didn't even know he had because of his character. But Bethany doesn't know what paleontology is?
Huh.
Strength is my weakness. How is strength my weakness?
This is an excellent question. If they still have most of the characteristics of their real-life selves in this universe, how do these strengths and weaknesses apply? Like, it's either all or nothing, right? Mad Max, Jumanji Road. Jesus, with all this firepower, even in a game, these guys would be toast. But apparently the video game reverts to movie rules when it comes to aiming. Why would the game have this perspective? Every other shot has been from the viewpoint of one of the main characters, so this flash to villain vision is hooey.
Let me see your backpack. What? Inside your backpack, you have my weapons.
They haven't even checked the goddamn backpack until now. He's been carrying that shit the entire game.
Get on my back.
What? I would rather die.
Jump on my back.
Nope, I'm going to die.
Character says there's no way they will do something only to be doing that very thing in the next scene cliche. Jeez, I'm so f***ing tired of seeing the main characters chase through a wooded area and suddenly come upon a cliff in every action movie. See also Indiana Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean, Star Trek, The Revenant, Furious 7.
Are you saying that we can actually die in here?
I mean, I don't know for sure.
You're not sure? You're not sure, Mr. Video Game Genius?
Look, I get that Fridge is frustrated, but this kind of an argument, even in a movie like this, is silly. It makes it sound like Fridge has zero common sense, as if he thinks Spencer gets trapped in games all the time.
I gotta take a leak first.
I've been dreading this all day, but so do I.
Please tell me one f***ing video game outside of, like, Leisure Suit Larry, where a character has to take a piss in the middle of a mission. Also, this sets up a scene of Bethany discovering how to pee as a man, which is so overlong and unfunny that I'm convinced it was originally supposed to be in an animated kids movie.
Martha, come look at my penis!
No thanks.
Huh, I guess Jack Black's part was originally meant to be played by Louis C.K.
Bravestone.
If killing Bravestone was so goddamn important to Van Pelt, why didn't he go there himself?
I will summon every creature and every soldier to hunt them down.
Why haven't you done that already?
Could you say that one more time, please? With the smolder, do you have control of that, or does that just happen naturally?
It just happens naturally.
Okay, that got me. That's worth a sin off. Where the hell is Jumanji supposed to be? I thought we were out in the fucking jungle, but this bazaar is straight out of, like, Istanbul.
It probably just meant that I love cake. I couldn't resist it.
Jumanji somehow made one of Finbar's weaknesses cake, which should probably never come up during the game, but somehow it does, because the movie overrides the logic of the game, and it's hilarious to watch Kevin Hart explode.
I have this map that, like, has a missing piece.
Dr. Bravestone, thank goodness you're here.
We need to find the missing piece.
If you're going to make a cartographer the only character who can read the map, then why would you make this character completely ignore the only one who can read it? And again, who's playing Bravestone if he's not selected?
What you need is in the basket. One false move, you're in a casket.
This riddle reminds me that there's really been none of this shit since the beginning of the game. Why wasn't there a rhyme about the hippos of the river, or the mighty roar out in the valley? Hey! Yep, the best way to sneak up on the people you're trying to capture is to scream hey at the top of your lungs. Rock blocking.
Hello, Doctor. Been a long time. I believe you have something that belongs to me.
So is Van Pelt supposed to be British or not? Because if so, I'm not buying this kind of accent for a second.
Stay off the white bricks.
What?
And freeze.
Seaplane sure does enjoy those dramatic orders, even though he could have given them at any time long before now.
Looks like they had help. Seaplane. He must have crawled out of his hole.
Here's where the movie doesn't seem like they're playing a video game anymore. This is a cutscene that the main characters don't get to see, and they're discussing very specific details that a game like this wouldn't be able to comprehend, and takes actions a video game wouldn't bother with. Ah yes, the old main villain kills one of his henchmen because he screwed up Chestnut. How else would we know this guy is evil if he didn't do this?
Who's Alan Parrish?
He's the guy who built this place.
Nice nod to the original, but it brings up a lot of questions. How did the video game Jumanji reconcile its world with board game Jumanji? Video game Jumanji turned into a completely different game, with a different set of rules. Namely, you can get out of this place if you can get to the end. Alan had no such luck because future Bonnie Hunt ran away from the game in the original, thus keeping him stuck here. I realize that with upgrades come different rules, but what this game did to Alan Parrish is one of the bigger dick moves I can remember.
Once I got down to my last life, I realized I was screwed. And that I was never going to get out of here by myself.
Okay, let me take that back. Jumanji the video game basically did the same thing to Camp Rock's Nick Jonas that it did to Alan Parrish, only this time there was no way to know that other people needed to play the game. Let's not forget that Jumanji specifically changed into a video game because when Alex wasn't being played by Nick Jonas, he said who plays board games. It never once said, hey man, you need 5 players for this. Even bigger dick move, the game's objective is to save Jumanji, and Jumanji is a colossal asshole.
Half the stuff that came at me I had zero way to deal with. Now, you can't kill a black mamba with a margarita.
Then how the hell did Alex get to the transportation shed level? Or really through any of the levels up till now?
You're our missing piece. You were the thing that we needed to find.
Yeah, but the game told them about the missing piece. And had they gone in with all 5 players, what would the missing piece be then? Also, Bethany is right, but how is that possible? And why would anyone make the connection they'd need to find a 5th character? If Camp Rock 2, The Final Jam's Nick Jonas doesn't happen to be wandering around the bazaar after they did the snake challenge, they never find this guy, unless the game itself somehow made it happen. Also, there were only 4 controllers on the console, so the game was setting these assholes up for failure from the get-go.
How do we get past these guards?
Last time I just waited till they left.
How long did that take?
3 weeks.
We find out later these guards are true video game characters who are stuck in some sort of loop. So why did they ever leave their post?
Distracting guys is like the main thing I do. He plays video games, I distract guys.
But you don't exactly have the toolkit.
Not me.
Bethany basically played a whole new level of pronoun game here, but apparently she knew she was in a movie and was ready to make a big dramatic reveal. Also, do they really not have enough weapons to take out 2 guards? Finbar has a whole sack of weapons he could give Bravestone, and Ruby Roundhouse knows all the martial arts.
Okay, let's talk about your walk. Take your time.
My Fair Pretty Woman, The Pygmalion Diaries.
Gosh.
Like this?
I think you're ready.
This flirt mission literally has no time constraints, so why not practice on The Rock and Kevin Hart before going down there? Oh yeah, so they can create another funny situation. Damn, I keep forgetting that.
She's pretty fly, and those guys don't meet a lot of new people.
Fly.
Sure, Alex is from 1996, but he's also a fucking metalhead, according to his room decor, and I don't remember any metalheads in 1996 using the word fly to describe a hot girl.
I'm just saying, I'm sure they'd like to get jiggy with her.
Nobody was saying jiggy in 1996 either. The word only gained steam in 1998 when Will Smith released Getting Jiggy With It from his Big Willie style album.
Hello, little lady. What are you doing out here all alone?
How does every NPC in this game not know who Ruby is? She's one of only 5 main characters in the game.
Do you guys like to dance?
It might not be a dance-off, but it's still solving problems with dancing, which is the odd thing every movie must have nowadays. So, are these NPCs getting turned on by this? They obviously aren't paying attention to their work, even though they repeat the same phrase over and over. Is the power of digital boners greater than the power of surveillance? Ruby's strength is dance fighting, but is this really it? She's not really f***ing dancing at all, just kicking regular ass, with music in the background. Look, good for this henchman and all, but the Xenia on a top seems like an extremely inefficient fight move. That's nice, but wouldn't this destroy the helicopter?
What are they doing?
It's like they're protecting it or something.
And yet, when Spencer throws Fridge off the helicopter, they all chase after it. I don't get Jumanji. Sometimes the solutions are impossible, and sometimes they are way too easy. Also, if Van Pelt still has control of all the animals in Jumanji, why can't one of the rhinos pick up the jewel in its mouth and take it back to him? Every one of these rhinos has a murder boner that's so strong that they disregard what has to be the most important thing in their universe.
Roll 90 degrees to the right!
I know Spencer the Rock Gilpin is confident in his catching abilities, but what if he misses here? The gamble to push Fridge out of the chopper was made after seeing that he had 2 lives left. But if Fridge falls here, he's back among the rhinos and is totally fucking dead, man. Also, why would you risk everyone's life for this maneuver? I guess they did a recent course on collateral damage in this high school. Why did they land here? Even if the map hasn't revealed the ultimate location of the Jaguar, they should be flying around looking for it, right?
Mosquito.
Oh yeah, let's not forget they gave this already unlucky character a weakness that gives him a highly likely chance of dying, considering the mosquito population in Jumanji.
It looks like you're giving him one of your lives. lives.
This is kind of clever, but it's totally random. It's more CPR ex machina than something they came up with intuitively.
I just keep thinking about my poor parents, what they must have been through. Why? Because I was sitting in my hideout, too afraid to finish the game.
Yeah, but could you have finished the game without the 4 other players? The movie has been pretty clear that you were f***ed once you came in here alone. Jump squirrel. Also, if you're going to point out that climbing is one of Bravestone's strengths, then I'm compelled to tell you that one of the other strengths is that he is fearless as well. So get the f*** out of here with this squirrel shit.
You're a good friend, French.
What the f*** happened with these two to bring them back together as friends? They've literally both killed each other this afternoon alone, and they're still bickering up until this point.
Over here! Come and get me!
This works?
It's the elephant and the mouse.
Fridge is able to reason with a wild elephant, apparently because he is a zoologist, and all zoologists know elephant language.
I can't give you the jewel. 2! Because I don't have it!
Jeez, dude, you could have said that a lot earlier. And it's not like you knew Fridge would come crashing through riding an elephant right about now.
Elephant.
Begin the climb.
It now feels like this movie is just making it up as it goes along. The only reason an elephant is here is because a series of random events occurred. This jumping is so fake, they might as well have put Mario sounds with it. In fact, let's rewind this and do just that.
I'll take that.
Man, Van Pelt spends an awful lot of time saying, "Give it to me and I'll take that," when he could literally walk over and take that. Or have one of his thousands of animals he controls take that. Also, how'd he get up here? Besides the hit or miss animal control in Jumanji, what are Van Pelt's powers? Is the movie interested in explaining that to us? Is this motorcycle really driving up a steep, rocky, almost completely vertical climb? Game cheats on where people respawn after their death and puts Martha closer to the Jaguar than she was before.
Jumanji!
Hell of a game. Too bad it doesn't have much replay value. Oh no, not stock villain character 118 played by an overqualified actor, aka the anti-Killmonger.
Where's Alex?
So did they all just walk the hell out of detention? Because I'm pretty sure they didn't make a dent in those magazine staples.
Wait, look.
Hate to break it to everyone, but getting Alex back to his home in 1996 would have changed a lot more than this. There's a chance these kids aren't even born when they get back, since they effectively changed the past, and even the slightest change would have caused some sort of sound of butterfly thunder effect.
Hey, Dad, will you give me a second?
Not only did the kids walk up on Alex at the exact minute his expositional minivan shows up, he somehow recognizes 4 adolescents that look nothing like the avatars he played with over 20 years ago.
Bethany.
Spencer.
Yeah.
Ruby Roundhouse? That would make you Fridge.
Did he never learn Martha's real name? Martha? Why didn't you say Martha?
Go get that girl, Dr. Bravestone.
So Bethany has embraced nature and wants to go backpacking. Spencer and Martha are working on hooking up and coming out of their shells. So what's up with Fridge? Is he, gonna do his own homework now? I mean, it seems like everyone else has some real character growth after the game. Last time they kissed, it was a sloppy, pretty much total failure. Now they're pros. On the second try. Yeah, that'll stop a sequel.
Don't you understand? I found a cure for the fucking plague of the 20th century, and now I've lost it.
We don't understand the obsession with throwing a ball into a hoop and, oh, touchdown, 5 points.
Nerd!
Welcome to Jumanji.
They got me.
Martha?
Why did you say that name?
Hello, Doctor.
Doctor?
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 The 4th dimension will collapse upon itself. You stupid bitch.
Welcome to detention.
You have exactly 8 hours and 54 minutes to think about why you're here.
Too many cooks, too many cooks.
What happens if we use up all our lives?
Well, usually that would mean game over.
Game over, man. It's game over.
Mr. Oogie Boogie says there's trouble close at hand. You better pay attention now, 'cause I'm the boogeyman.
Bethany, you're a girl.
I'm a motherfucking